Classmates, could I have your attention? Could everybody please sit down, and if I could take a few minutes here, please? I want to welcome you all to this wonderful 50th year West Chicago High School reunion. You know, at our age, it's great to be anywhere and especially remember it. Honestly, I can say after visiting our high school yesterday and seeing the police presence there, we were the best class that high school's ever had. And they said, they canceled the DC trip after us. They should have not. We did a great job. We're gonna have a great time tonight. It was great seeing you all at St. Andrews last night. Thought I could never be talked out, and I almost was. I went to bed last night and thought of all the memories, all the shared experiences we all had, and it all comes back into focus. Everybody brings up something like the Pandora box, and everything comes spilling back out again. And we had a great class, great friends, great memories, and that's what we're going to try to focus on tonight, is our memories of the class of 1964. Just to give you a little preview of the agenda tonight, we're going to have a buffet dinner that's going to be served. After dinner, you're going to have to listen to me for a few minutes. Remember, you gave me the honor of being a senior superlative, being the most talkative, so you got to listen to me for a few minutes. And then we're going to have group pictures to be taken, and then more drinks and conversations. Before we get going tonight, I would like to say a few words to the guy upstairs for us, which is important. If we could, bow our heads, please. Dear Lord, God bless the class of West Chicago 1964 graduates and their families. We especially bless the 21 classmates who are now with you in heaven. Karen Bitter-Nagel, Sharon Butts-Vashaka, Lee Bueller, Bob Craterfield, David Burgess, Juanita Dog Gunn, Bill Denges, Morton Haffey, Kathy Hill Snyder, Dawn Hittman-Luxon, Randy Jacobs, who died serving our country in Vietnam, George Klingberg, Patricia Lee, Nancy Martin, Alec Miner, Arthur Oak, David Pettis, David Rauschenberger, Jim Rehor, Yvonne Skachinosi Scramer, Greg Lube, and God, please protect our country during these dangerous and challenging times that we're facing today. So let's eat and have a good time, and I'll be back to you in a few minutes. Thank you. Could I have your attention, please? We'll start the evening out here. I'd like to make a special thanks due to the reunion committee for the very hard work they did putting this event together. It takes a lot of time and effort by these people, and I like that their names are recognized in the program. But I'd like to really extend the hard work, especially of one person, of all these reunions that our class has had. One name, Carrie Stark, has done all of the pilgrimaging, the hard work, the constant emails, the prodding of people to come. I mean, the effort that this young lady has done, we owe her a very, very special thanks. And I can't tell you what it is. It's so nice. I live a long ways away. A lot of you people live away. We're doing things. She's making a special effort to put this together, and I think she needs a great round of applause. And Jim, we have a little something for Carrie here.
From the reunion committee, we had lunch at least twice a year since the first reunion. We scoped out every place within 30 miles of here. And just a good example, my wife's brother had a reunion about a month ago, and their cost was double. Obviously, it wasn't here. And our turnout was much better, and that was the class of '74. So our reunion committee, we have a gift for Carrie, and you're wonderful.
Come up, Carrie. Come up.
Come
here.
on.
Come up here. You can grab the flowers and give it to her.
Pardon?
You can grab the flowers and give it to her.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, a lot of us people come, some flowers for the, you know, a lot of us, I would like to thank the spouses of the alumni. What a sacrifice it is for ruining a perfectly good evening and having to listen to your partners share hilarities with a bunch of good old friends you don't even know, and you really wonder which one of them made out with them. I'm not going to say a word. I know of several occasions, but I'm not. Mum's the word. There are 3 classmates who have been married for 50 years. I can't even imagine it. Peggy Schramer and Mike Coyne, they're not able to be with us tonight. Carrie Sturber and Vern Stark, April Toma and Pat Murphy. We have our newlyweds in Linda Risch and Larry Grant are their newlyweds, their 3rd anniversary. Let's all give a hand of applause to those. You know, we went over to the high school, a lot of us today, and we walked around the room. I didn't, you know, personally, the person, I didn't want to see any of the new stuff. All I wanted to do is go around and look at all the old stuff, all the old memories. I seen people walking over to the lockers they were at. I went over to the locker that I asked Paula Kuloff for my first date that was all prearranged, sweating like a dog, nervous as hell. I went over there, and it's just like it was a flash that went through my mind. It was phenomenal. Went to I watched Steve Barrington go over there and watch all the many points he scored in the basketball, the old basketball. We didn't want to see the new basketball. Who cares about it? We all want to go back to where it was at. We want to all relive this great experience that we had in high school. I went to grade school with a number of you at Lincoln School. We went to Turner School. We went to different nursery schools. We went to Washington School. Then we all ended up at West Chicago High School. And coming back and seeing all of you, all of us, all these memories, and that's why I want to just talk a little bit about memories. But first of all, I want to make our special guest tonight, our Dick Kerner and his wife Dorothy, and Butch Hansen and his wife Bonnie. We give them applause for them today. A short story about, and I'll never forget this. He comes out there. It's our first year experience with the hardest ass there ever was as a football coach. Comes out there, and all the guys are standing around sucking on a towel that was diseased with water. He'd say to us, "Nobody drinks water on my practices." Of course, you know, we're all dehydrated. And he says, "You know, I'm 26 years old. I've been coaching." I said to myself, "I'm 16. This guy's 26. My God, is he old?" I said, "What is this?" I never forget that from Mr. Kerner. And we applaud you, and we all had a number of different teachers that made an experience in our lives, and he certainly, and him and Butch were experiences in our lives, in my life, and all of you will have a personal recognition of a particular teacher or a particular experience that you'll take with you for the rest of your life. I went over and visited with Mr. Kerner, and we talked for 3 hours about the good old days. We brought back names it just blew my mind. I can't remember what I did yesterday, but boy, the names that come out, it was just phenomenal. You know, we talk about 50-year reunion, half century. Most all of us are approaching 70 years old. Most of us are grandparents, collecting Social Security, getting the Medicare call. I remember driving down the freeway, picking up the phone. "This is the Medicare Department of Washington, D.C. You're officially enrolled in Medicare." I won't want to tell you what I wanted to say to the lady. The official date of getting old in your mind. And the big thing is, you hope you wake up in the morning and you say, "Hello." That's good news. Where did the time go? My mother used to say, the older one gets, the faster time flies, but fond memories never fade away. That's what this reunion is all about. Memories. If memories are fleeting, memories are permanent. We share our most powerful memories so they grow with the times rather than fade away and give us the ability to celebrate friends, family, members long after we have passed away. John F. Kennedy, 1962. I moved to Minnesota 44 years ago. I can honestly say that each month of each year, the good old days approach, a flash goes by, and I'll remember something. And I think most of you, if you're honest with yourself, all of us go back sometime. We just don't want to stay there. but that flash of memory, and all you do is get a big smile on your face. I know that when I go back and I'm driving back to Minnesota tomorrow, I'm going to take back memories here. It'd be like 6.5 hours of vanished because of all the memories and all the great associations I had with my classmates. Do you remember? Not necessarily in this order. Your first date. Wow. That was something. The Cuban Missile Crisis. Your first dance on the Friday night sock hop. I remember that vividly. And I've told it was Elvis Presley, Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, and it was Carolyn Crandall that I danced that dance with. I was scared to death. That was something. I'm not kidding you. The JFK assassination. When we walked into that cafeteria today, all I remember in 1963 and the loudspeaker going off and saying that our president had been assassinated. I think all of us remember that in that era, what happened that day and where we were at. If we were at lunch, we were walking down the hall, whatever. But I remember that. The Friday night football games, just Elvis and the Beatles. Taking your first date home and wondering what will happen at the door. That was traumatic. I don't know about you, but man, oh man, that was a bad deal. Alan Shepard, the first man on the moon. The homecoming dance. Who will ask you and will they say yes? Clark Gable dies at 59. Junior and senior prom. Will she stay out overnight? Driver's training with Mr. Johnson. The Vietnam War. Washington, D.C. train trip, which all of us remember that little, and we have to have a group discussion on what actually happened there. You know, the shit was all flying on what actually happened on that thing. We have to get a group committee to actually put this together, why they canceled that damn trip. But it was a hell of a time, and all I remember is coming home and my dad calling me and saying that he had to guarantee the room with his credit card, and he said, "What's this extra charge?" And he says, "It's yours to pay." And I don't know who was in my room. They never paid me back. I don't know what happened there. Okay? Your first car that you had, you drove, your parents, whatever it may, will she sit next to me or be a goody door hugger? That was a big thing with guys. You girls never realized what a traumatic thing it was when the guys go to the locker room and they tease you because the girl you took out sat on the other side of the door. It was terrible. Remember, we didn't have bucket seats in those days. They were non-existent. But that was a big deal for guys. You girls never knew that. The Bay of Pigs invasion. We had our first job to be able to pay for our car and the gas payment. We go out with the guys. We're going to go any place. We all chipped in a quarter for gas. Gas was 25 cents a gallon. Bought at Dave's gas station, filled up with that, and went and drove around all of the drive-ins, dog and suds, thinking we're cool. Back in there, did she see me? I think you guys remember that. Cassius Clay becoming heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Now this is the big thing. Introduction to the open shower for the guys. This was something. I'll leave it at that. You know, we all have our great individual memories, and I think all of them that will be talked about within your go back and tell your kids. I know last night I bored my wife to death, and I took pictures of my old house and stuff and just told her all that stuff. And I come to think, and I said, you know, there's got to be somebody who said some hilarious things, and it's Rodney Dangerfield. And I found these quotes here. 9 things to remember after you leave this 50th reunion by Rodney Dangerfield. Number 9, death is the #1 killer in the world. Life is sexually transmitted. Number 7, good health is merely the slowest possible rate at which you can die. Really. Men have 2 emotions, hungry and horny. They can't tell them apart. If you see a gleam in their eyes, make them a sandwich. I've had many a tuna sandwiches. Give a person a fish, and you'll feed them for a day. Teach a person to use the internet, and they won't bother you for weeks, months, or even years. Health nuts are going to feel stupid someday, lying in a hospital, dying of nothing. All of us could take a lesson from the weather. It pays no attention to criticism. In the 60s, people took acid to make the world weird. Now the world is weird, and people take Prozac to make it normal. Number 1, life is like a jar of jalapeno peppers. What you do today might burn your ass tomorrow. Okay. Okay, on a little more serious note, okay? So here we are 50 years later. For many of us, I say all of us, are at a crossroads in our lives. Once again, we're faced with a mixture of anxiety, laden excitement over the future, of how we deal with the challenges that lie ahead. Godspeed to all of you. Good health to your family. I'm proud to be a member of our class, and I'm proud to be your friend.